Hey everybody, Joshua Laycock here. It's funny, I didn't have a great healthy breakfast. I was super hungry. I was a little tired, so I grabbed something quick and it wasn't very healthy. And anyway, it was a long series of morning meetings and they brought in lunch and it didn't appeal to me. There's nothing wrong with it. It wasn't the healthiest of options. I just wasn't really in the mood to eat. Nor did I want to kind of stack multiple unhappy meals or unhealthy meals back to back. So I just took a pass, tried not to make a big deal out of it. But I'm amazed at how many people were like asking me if I was okay, is everything all right? And then expressing how difficult it would be, or impossible was the word a lot of people used. It would be impossible to skip a meal, or oh my God, I would die if I didn't have a meal, or I'm starving, and these extreme language around missing a fucking meal by choice. And it really, I'm totally guilty of finding or trying to find or manufacturing bigger messages in something that's pretty small, but that's frightening to me. How many people commented on how horrible their lives would be impacted by not eating one meal, and how easily the language that we use is so dramatic and so overblown that I think it has a lot of impact. One, what is our resiliency? If missing a meal, even by choice, is such a cataclysmic event, how are we going to handle real challenges? I don't know. I think there's this almost like pride in our weakness. I don't get it. Maybe it's a reaction to people who are like, I can go 12 days without eating, and this sort of hardcore mentality that some people have, and that's fine. I'm probably in that camp more than the other, but I guess I was a little bit blown away at the amount of people that were blown away by the fact that I wouldn't eat lunch. And like I said, I didn't make a big deal of it. I just didn't grab lunch. But also, have we become desensitized to some of the language? I would die. I would explode. I'm starving. Like, these are extreme things that when they actually happen, when someone actually dies, when someone is actually starving, that's a big deal. But again, we're either stuffed or we're starving. We're either amazing or we're dying. I struggle with this absolute lack of a middle ground. Oh my God, aren't you going to be hungry? Yep. And I guess I don't get it. And I think I'm pretty good at trying to figure out what people's motivations are, what drives a lot of people, and I don't know that I like where my brain is going, but why is that worth our attention? Why is that worth fussing about? Forget the fact that we're zeroed in on what someone else is doing as opposed to what we're doing ourselves, but do we really think that that's a big deal? And the thing is, like, I need to eat or I'm toast. And look, I get that there are some people that have medical conditions where their blood sugar does something, and okay, I don't understand that, but I do gather that that's a pretty small percentage of the population. I don't know how many people tell themselves that, and that's not it. Like, I don't know, but the reality is most people aren't dealing with some crazy medical condition that requires that they eat consistently. But I think the fact that we think we need to all the time is this blurring of need and want, and it leads to so much overconsumption. It leads to so much anguish. It leads to always wanting the next best thing. It leads to all this stuff that is really excessive in our consumption, excessive in our emotions, excessive in our declarations of our mood and our state of mind. And like, even when you ask someone, how are you doing today? You might get, pretty good. But usually you get shit, sucks, living the dream, Or you get the opposite. I'm amazing and everything's awesome and nothing seems to bother them, and I think both people are lying to themselves. I don't know. I appreciate that I'm rambling, and I'll shut this down. But have we lost touch so badly with what is really a need? Have we become so unable to be modestly uncomfortable in the service of something bigger? Not grand, but bigger. Are we utterly incapable of living in the gray area in between extremes? And if so, what do we do about that? Like, do we just, those of us who try to live this way, do we just ignore the rest? Should we try and help educate, enlighten? I don't know, whatever word isn't condescending. I mean, I'm trying to share this message, but like, is anybody actually listening to it? Or are the people who are listening to it the same kind of people who think the same way that I do? And it's almost like affirmation that, hey, someone else is living the same way that I am, or thinks about things the same way. Like, are we able to connect with these people? I'm not sure. But I do believe that if one person in a room of 25 choosing to not eat lunch is such an unsettling event for so many people for a variety of different reasons, I'm worried that we might be fucked. And if that's the case, what's the solution? I'm going to chew on that as I drive home, because I quite frankly don't know. But it's bothering me, because I think that I care. I think that I would like to help people look at life a little differently. I think that the way that I'm choosing to look at life is good, better. But this one kind of has me stumped. And maybe it's no big deal, and maybe I should just ignore it and move on with my day. So you guys can either choose to chew on this with me, or you can choose to ignore it and move on with your day. I'm heading out. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you, in fact, tomorrow.